Welcome back, everybody. Are you ready for September 2024? I'm going to share with you what the themes are, what the topics are, and the energies are for this month as I perceive them. And this will be relating to what's going on in the collective as well as for people individually. And you will see for yourself if this resonates with you, and you will be able to take the guidance from this for the next couple of weeks and use it if it's helpful to you in navigating and dealing with what is going to come up. Now, during this month, one predominant thought theme that's there is the trap. Many people find themselves trapped at the moment. And I am not talking about the kind of trapped that you may think about now in terms of trapped in a system, trapped in falsehoods, trapped in lies, trapped in duties, trapped in like external factors, right? That's not what I'm talking about. This is a channel about consciousness. So in that sense, the trap that I'm speaking about is their own trap. They are trapped in the arguing with reality. And this is happening so strongly at the moment. So many people spend their lifetime or their day arguing with reality, resisting reality, fighting with reality. And I'm going to tell you now why this is not a good idea and why this is not helpful at all. And I'm also going to share with you how we can move beyond it, how you can move out of it and actually do what is a lot more helpful and a lot more powerful instead. So what does it mean to argue with reality? It means that you moan how things are, whether it is in your personal life, in your relationships, whether it is out there, maybe in your job, with your surroundings, environment, living situation, or in the world, right? You argue with what's going on in the world. You complain about it. You're maybe frustrated. You may be in pain with what's out there. So you feel like you're going against it all the time. Now, reading like the news or listening to the news and what's going on in the world doesn't make it better, right? Quite the opposite. It feeds your sense of agitation. And it feeds into your sense of powerlessness and frustration because you constantly look at the insanity in this world. The world is insane, completely insane. Sane people, sane consciousnesses would not live like this, would not act like that, right? You're right. It's insane. But to argue with this insanity is not going to help you. Quite the opposite. It drags you into the insanity. Because the level where you come from, as in the consciousness level you come from when you argue with reality, is you come from the level of 3D illusional thinking. That's your perspective. Now, if we take it a step further and say, what is, okay? What has been created, meaning what you're experiencing right now, you are experiencing. You are witnessing, you are listening to, you are seeing, you are feeling. This is what has been created in the moment of experience. Otherwise, you would not experience it. So in that moment of experience, to argue with it, to resist it, to go against this is only going to do one thing. It causes you to suffer in one way or another, whether it's fear, anxiety, pain, struggle, annoyance, anger, like on different levels, right? But it causes you to suffer. And most of you who are listening to this have one common aim or vision for this planet, and this is to move beyond suffering or above suffering, because you have realized suffering is no longer necessary on the planet in order for us to grow and evolve and expand and move up or move on. So this is something that most of you have in common. So why then would you put yourself in a situation day by day by day where you cause suffering to yourself? And I hear what you're saying now. Most of you are going to argue with what I'm saying. Most of you are arguing with this and saying, how can you not resist what's going on? How can you not argue with this? How can you not go against it? How can you not feel upset and furious with wherever you come from, right? In terms of your perspective, your opinions. So how can you not? You must be ignorant then, or you must be like not caring if you don't argue with it. That's not at all the case. You can care, but do not fight with what already is. Meaning, if what is what you're witnessing, what you're experiencing right now, whether it is on a global scale or within your personal life or within yourself, is something you do not like and you would prefer to change, focus on that. And you hear me saying that again and again and again, because this is what streams in again and again and again. The resistance will only cultivate more of what you resist. So instead of arguing with what is, what you're going to do is you're going to focus on what you want to live instead. And this is the mistake most people make, not as a future goal. In the future, I would like to be more peaceful. I would like to be more joyful, more creative, more expansive, more prosperous, more delighted, happy, whatever it is. Not as a future thing. Okay, I'm going to focus on creating this in the future. But as a state in the moment, right now, that replaces your focus on what you do not want. Because it is an illusion and it is a false belief to think by focusing on what you do not want and claiming over and over and over again how much you do not want this. I don't want the war. I don't want this leader. I don't want this party. I don't want this law. I don't want this rule. I don't want... We can name a billion things. By you restating this again and again and again, watch your thoughts and your emotional state. You're completely in the bubble of all those things you do not want. So you're trapped. And the only one who creates this trap for you is you. And we don't like to hear this. We like somebody else is at fault and I'm the good one here. And so if they stop doing whatever it is they're doing, then I can feel good. We need to take responsibility again for our way of thinking, for our way of feeling, and for our way of being in this world. If you want the world to be sane, be sane. You be the sanity. You be the light of consciousness. You be the compassion and the love and the understanding. It doesn't mean you take everything as it is and you don't change anything. But every change starts with our beingness. And if we're in the bubble of what we don't want, what do you think you create every day? What do you think you bring into every encounter during the day, in every relationship? This tension of all the things that you carry around that you're fighting with that day, that you're arguing with that day, that you hate, that you don't like. This is what you bring with you. It's like a rucksack. So wherever you go to the shop or you go to talk to somebody, you're bringing this. And because it's energy, it's contagious. So you're dragging this stuff into the lives of others. You may not deliberately discuss your problems with somebody, like your problems or what you don't like in your life right now. Or you may not deliberately or actively discuss your opinions about politics or the laws or whatever it is that you're fighting with right now, but energetically you're transporting it. You're not happy, you're not at peace, you're not calm when you interact then with the world. So you can only escape this trap by becoming aware of what your thoughts are and by making a decision to no longer stay trapped, to actually free yourself. To free yourself from the bondage that you have created. And how do you do this? Exactly like that. You focus instead of being something else in the moment, meaning thinking and feeling something else in the moment. And this takes practice because most people are addicted to the drama, addicted to the negativity, addicted to everything that's wrong in the world, and for them feeling so empowered by seeing what's wrong in the world, and they get a sense of self-gratification or satisfaction from this. I see everything that's wrong and I get to judge all of this, and then they get frustrated, but they're hooked on this emotion. Of like the adrenaline of all this drama, right? So if that's you, if you notice that within yourself, noticing it is the first step to changing it. But you also then need to make sure that you do not allow yourself to constantly feed that addiction to the negativity. To become aware of it, to observe it within yourself, and then distance yourself from it. See that this is only one perspective, one way of thinking that you have adopted. You don't have to continue with that way of thinking. It's totally up to you what you choose to think in this moment. So again, the question is, are your thoughts thinking you? Or are you actively choosing your thoughts and then choosing your emotions and then your state of being and then your intention of what you want to bring out into the world? What message do you bring into the world every day? Is it one of doom or one of hope? And it does not mean ignore what is. You can still see and observe what is, what has been created in this moment, what you are experiencing. But the perspective or the how you deal with it when you experience it, that is up to each and every one of us. So you can use then everything you experience, if it's something unwanted, as the challenge, as the teacher for today, to come into awareness and to consciously create what you want to feel and think and live instead. And then also what you want to give out and help others with instead. This is the only way we are going to create change. Like, unless you are in a very powerful position in the world with a lot of money, in a position where you can make a decision that affects millions, right, in a positive sense, and you can do this, do that. But for most people, that's not the case. And they wonder, they feel powerless, and they wonder, what can I do? Well, stop arguing with what is, because what is, and what is can be used as a teacher and actually as the path into more of what you, for example, want to see. More love, more compassion, more freedom, more peace, more happiness and joy and connectedness and unity. That's what we want, isn't it? And that's what we can create. But it starts with the now, the here, being it and living it in the now. Today, it starts with you. That's how the change happens globally. And if everybody who listens to this now starts implementing that, not arguing with it, starts to, if you resonate with it, of course, you don't have to believe anything anyone is saying. I'm always saying that. See for yourself if it resonates. If it doesn't, that's fine. If you feel like you want to argue with what I'm saying and continue arguing with the world, that is okay too. But if it resonates, and if you imagine everyone who listens to this, like, it doesn't matter how many, even if it's just one person, starting to implement it and to live today from the beingness, from the vibration, from the state of unity, of peace, of love, of joy, support, of essence, imagine what this world will look like. If we all do that, which gradually we are moving into that, it's going to be heaven on earth. It's going to be beautiful. But it starts with us today. And it's not someone else's job to create this for us. It is our job to bring our consciousness, our awareness into that state and manifest and create instead of arguing with reality, arguing with what is. Right? That is one of the main themes that I see for the month of September. And another aspect that I want to mention that I also see is, like, from the words that are coming in is rays of hope. There are rays of hope. It's like the sun that is shining through dark clouds. Gentle rays of hope are coming onto or are being received by humans, are received by the planet. So that is an image that I want to leave you with. There are rays of hope. There is some kind of a hopeful energy that is there. And it may not even be related at all to what's going on in your personal life or what's going on in the world. But somehow it feels more hopeful. And I want to encourage you to find this hope. Like, if you sense it, if you feel it, acknowledge it and support this with the state of being that you're in. So it's okay to become more hopeful. No matter what they're saying, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter where you are at the moment. It's okay to be hopeful because there are so many reasons we have for being hopeful. There are. And if you can't see them right now, that's okay too. Then just allow the rays of hope without any kind of forcing, allow them to touch you too. That's it. Just, shine on me, that's fine. If there's a ray of hope that kind of gets into me, that touches my heart, I'm open for that. I don't even need to know why I feel hopeful. I'm okay with just being hopeful and then sharing this with the others. Okay? I'm going to bless you, love you, and leave you for today. And we'll talk again next time if you want to.